Hello YouTube, my name is the Nobody and I am finally making a political video. As you can see from the title of this video, I will be talking about why I am no longer an anti-feminist. Now, relatively recently, I have been rather interested in economics, feminism, anti-feminism, and MGTOW. I got into these subjects basically by watching Feminists Get Wrecked videos, then Ben Shapiro, Milo Yiannopoulos, Lauren Southern, those types of people, then anti-feminist videos, and then finally MGTOW videos. Now, I still really like the anti-feminist content producers. In fact, I respect and admire quite a few of them, but I still find a lot of them to be rather hypocritical, and I'm really disappointed that there's still certain things, scientifically proven things, that you're still not allowed to mention on the anti-SJW, anti-feminist communities because it might trigger them. For example, mentioning IQ differences between certain groups is basically off limits, and I remember Tiddle Deer mentioning this in one of his videos. It was a live stream, I believe it was called How to Start a Race War, I think, and he basically said that he is not allowed to mention IQ differences because people in the community will get rather pissed off. Now, I still watch a lot of anti-feminist videos, mostly because there aren't enough MGTOW videos out there that I like, but also because I still find them very entertaining, and occasionally I do learn new things from them. Now, not being able to mention certain topics on the anti-feminist community isn't really the main reason that I decided not to call myself an anti-feminist anymore. The main reason is how gynocentric the anti-feminist community either always was or has become. Also, I still can't figure out why you're called anti-feminists. I mean, the vast majority of you are pro first and second wave feminism, which is the majority of feminism. So I don't really understand how you can be called anti-feminists and yet be in support of the majority of feminism. Now, what do I mean when I say the anti-feminist community is gynocentric? Well, just go look up why I'm not a feminist, and almost any one of those videos you'll find a woman saying she is not a feminist because she feels that feminists are persecuting her for wanting to be a stay-at-home mother, which isn't really the case since feminists haven't even mentioned stay-at-home mothers since the second wave of feminism, at least not that I noticed. But it's interesting that it seems like most women's reason for being against feminism is not because in our society men are second-class citizens. Oh no, it's because they feel that they're being attacked by feminists, which is kind of like someone saying we should cancel slavery because my feelings are being hurt. Not because people are being enslaved, but because the slave masters are hurting my feelings. Which kind of makes me think that if feminists didn't in the past attack stay-at-home mothers, you would all probably be in favor of feminism. So you really don't seem to care about men, it's more that you care about finding a man to take care of you. Also, you always make it sound as if the bigotry of low expectations against women and minorities is somehow worse than actual bigotry against white men. I mean, I've even heard women saying that they don't like hiring quotas, but not because it discriminates against men, but instead because it makes them feel bad because they feel as if they didn't earn that position. You'd have to be incredibly narcissistic for that to be the reason you want to stop oppression. Another reason that I've left the anti-feminist community is because they're so in favor of first and second wave feminism. But first and second wave feminism were far more cancerous than third wave feminism. And I know what the average response will be. You don't want women to vote? Well, I mean, if you don't have the draft and you don't pay any net taxes, it's only fair. And no, I am definitely not in favor of alimony or child support. I mean, it's basically forgotten among this community that one of the laws first wave feminists tried to push was a bachelor tax. Yeah, they really fought for equality, didn't they? Also, you constantly push this fake narrative that we already have equality in our society, therefore there is no need for third wave feminism, but we have never been further away from equality between the genders. I mean, men are basically wage slaves and second class citizens. And I'm not sure if it's deliberate, but for some reason the MGTOW community seems to be the only community that mentions how men are treated in other countries, and no, it's not good. But you seem to be basically the first one to jump on the bandwagon of how terrible Saudi Arabia is for women. which it is. Saudi Arabia is terrible for anyone living there, both men and women. But again, there are many other countries out there with many other really, really bad laws that you seem to, again, I don't know if it's deliberate or not, but basically completely ignore. And I guess the final reason that I have left the anti-feminist community would be that you are so in love with this cult of equality that you're willing to use false IQ studies to show that women are just as intelligent as men. Now I know that most of you have not mentioned these IQ studies, and I'm assuming you did that deliberately because you probably know that they're fake, but if you mention they're fake, I'm assuming you'll get a lot of hate from your own community. But just because you've not mentioned them doesn't mean that it's not disappointing that you haven't debunked them. Anyway, this video was not meant as an attack on the anti-feminist community. I still watch a lot of your videos and really like them. I'm making this video to bring up a few issues I have with the anti-feminist community. Hopefully the anti-feminist community responds back to this video, because the main reason I'm making it is to see how people react to it. And if you do respond to this video, it would be nice if you also featured my response back. Anyway guys, I'm sorry that this video was rather dry and boring, but I'm new to YouTube and still rather nervous. So thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye. My outros suck.